All right, journal for today. I'm tired. My whole right shoulder hurts. I did some shadow work during slumber, but it was fun, as always, but also tiring, as always. So today I've been spinning. That connection I know is there. It's been harder for me to find directly, nor have I wanted to lean into it because it's too painful when I touch it, so I gotta let it go. And I desire to be on my way to get completely packed up, which is almost done, but always looks like a mess around me. And to get my storeroom cleaned out, organized. It's already cleaned out, but it's cold, and Dash is barking, and he is literally little chaos. So, and he face bunts to the couch. Okay, so anyway, I've been doing some of my own reading. I realized that I have been writing to myself the whole time, so I have a guide on the way out. So I can tell y'all how to. Can't do none of that. I'm not telling nobody what to fucking do anymore. I can share with you my continued healing journey, just like I have been. So today, though, everything I've been leading up to, and oh man, so many revelations come in. I see it. Revelations. Literally, no more tears, no more death. Not from fear or suffering. I have been set free. But I was in prison for a very long time. And it is completely equal. I chose hell first. And so I've been there for 10,000 years. That's where my soul was. And I have lived parts of it in this lifetime. It was fucking cold and I was in a jail cell and I hated it. But I was asleep most of the time. God was gentle. But I did have to wake up every 1,000 years and I'd have to suffer. Woo! And that hurt. Anyway, we'll get to that later because I'm just starting to wake up to it. I've hidden it from myself until I was ready to see it. But I want to read, I just opened, this was my Bible from when I was growing up. I was a Jehovah's Witness, and it is very organized religion, that's for sure. And there's a lot of love there, just like everything. But there's a lot of rules, and therein lies the problem. It's got to go, guys. The whole system of it, and it is. It's crumbling before our eyes. And so we're gonna have a lot of cleaning up to do and alchemizing our mess. So let's have fun, let's play. There's gonna be a lot of dirt to move around. There's gonna be a lot of trash to sort through and make into treasure. And I've done a little bit of that work, so I can help you out. Anyway, so I'm just reading here. This is what I opened up to today. For if we become united with him in the likeness of his death, we shall certainly also be united with him in the kindness of his resurrection. For if we have become united with him in the likeness of his death, we shall certainly also be united with him in the likeness of his resurrection. Because we know that our old personality was impaled with him, that our sinful body might be made inactive, that we should no longer go on being slaves to sin. For he who has died has been acquitted from his sin. Moreover, if we have died with Christ, we believe that we shall also live with him. For the death that he died with reference to sin once for all time. But the lifetime that he lives with reference to God. Likewise, also you, reckon yourselves to be dead, indeed with reference to sin, but living with reference to God by Christ Jesus. For sin must not master over you, seeing that you are under no law, but undeserved kindness. But thanks to God that you were the slaves of sin, but you became obedient from the heart to that form of teaching to which you were handed over. I am speaking in human terms because of the weakness of your flesh. For even as you presented your members as slaves to uncleanliness and lawlessness with lawless in view, so now present your members as slaves to righteousness with holiness in view. So here's the beautiful thing I'm kind of figuring out as I'm looking towards the future that I've had a glimpse at, is that I have a feeling, you know, it's just going to flop now. So the curse is reversed. So those that have been living a turmoil, internal life, your lives are probably going to get a lot brighter if you've been doing some work on yourself and truly trying to just find peace of some kind. I think you're going to find your way out. There's some souls on this planet right now that are neither in dark nor light. They are just already whole. They never lost themselves. But then, so you have the reverse of me, whereas I have a feeling on the exterior, my life might start looking flashier, but now I really don't care. I mean, I don't want to just live in the same house anymore. No, I'm done. But I want to, I don't want a big house. I don't want a bunch of stuff. I want a bag. And I want my bag of food and stuff for my dog. That's about it. And the vehicle and a bed and whatever else God sees fit. But I want adventure. I want to get lost on earth. I'm tired of being stuck in a cage. That's what we've done to ourselves. We caged ourselves. I built beautiful cages. And I did create divine space. Another thing that is coming to me now is my ability to alchemize is starting to develop. I was in public yesterday and I looked at somebody's face and it was very stern and had some pretty negative energy. And I felt, see how I hunch over? I felt the hook, 2 of them right here in my upper shoulder. So I found the light in my eyes, the air in my being, right in here, and then they connect. And I can feel my heartbeat in my brain, and the light is what starts with, that's where I can feel connected to my higher self, to my expanded self that exists outside of me, not just higher, all over. And then, so with that negative energy, I leaned in. So I just turn until you feel it. And then it dropped out of me. I let it go. I drain it. And then if I move, and I can, but it's no time. There we go. I bring it back. I receive it back as love. For now, both the light and the dark fuel me and my higher being. And then I send out light after dispelling the dark. Oh man, so much is coming back to me. No wonder I'm tired. I still have to justify to myself. I am the only human on earth that I know of that's been through the stuff I've been through. self-pity, which I no longer have. But it is what it is. I am still human. So, you know, I'm a baby in this whole being resurrected on earth thing, because I really am. I mean, it was told to me, my resurrection happened on March 11th, and God, it was glorious. It was glorious, and I know I'm connecting with all parts of me in the divine order they need to come to, and I'm getting revelations that I've experienced before in my journey in 23, whenever I did find God the first time. And then, oh my God, I abandoned him. Yep. So, yeah. Whenever, and I mean, I know that now I came into this world. I have no idea how it came in, honestly. But I do know that since I learned about death, is whenever my heart got broken. Because I loved my mama so much. And the fact that she was going to be taken away from me broke my heart. I thought, why would you even bring me here just to do that? You know, the love my mama gave me was perfect. She gave me perfect love. She wasn't a perfect mother. I'm not either. But it did. So I don't know what age that was, but I do remember that's when it happened. So in 23, I'll lead up to the story later, but I did go on a spiritual trip. It started with energy shooting out of me. Literally, rocks would go flying. The higher my energy got, the worse it was. If a paint can was open, it'd go splatter on the wall. I had no control of it. So and especially when I was around a bunch of lights, I thought I was gonna explode. And then everything I touched turned to mold, everything. And I thought it was in this house. So then I would run away and I would see, I tried doctors. The doctor at Lincoln County Medical Center was not very nice to me and treated me like I was crazy. Delusional. I have pictures of big, huge balls of what was energy, I don't know, that had to come out of me. Anyway, I digress. He didn't know. But, so yeah, and then I went to High Mesa Healing Center. I got some energy work, and I mean, a lot led up to that too, of course. And so Barbara Mader and Jody worked on me, and she said that I had a curse. Jody said I had a curse, and I never believed in curses. By this point, I had already been sober, and I had woken up to the fact that God didn't exist in the way that I knew him in religion's minds, but he did exist. I just now got to find him. So I thought I had found him pretty well, and I was on my way. I found out about him. Let's say that. I hadn't found him quite. I hadn't known that. Yeah, I don't know why I never thought of just sitting here and telling my story. But that's okay. Because I've been attached to perfection. I wouldn't have been willing to sit here with my crown on. I'm going through my baby stuff and looking at all the books I've written myself. So don't worry, I got a lot to share. I'm going to share with the whole world. I have lots to say. I've been the secretary for God since I came in. Been taking notes forever. Anyway, so in 23, after all that happened, I got some energy work. Major stuff happened. I didn't understand any of it. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, you guys. I don't do any. I've done yoga, Kundalini yoga. Really, I'm definitely a spiritual seeker, but not an avid Bible reader. Nothing. Nothing. You know, I say nothing. You read what I read, and I've been writing this way and talking this way for a long time, one or other. I've been lost in hell or lost in heaven or trapped in hell. And they both suck. Because, anyway, we'll get into that later too. Trying to continue with my story of whenever I left God. So, I found God in 23 after all of that. The lady said I had a curse, and she knew that I had mold, and I didn't tell her anything about the mold. And so I didn't, of course, believe it. I mean, really. I'm like, oh, I don't believe in witchcraft, so it must not exist. And it actually started with the word. Our words are our spells. Be careful what you say. I've had to pay for what I've said many times. And I forgot that until just recently. So if you speak it, I will be done. And then I went back to my daughter's house. I was staying with her at her and her boyfriend's house. And I was staying there trying to get away from the mold and the energy, whatever was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to escape myself. And it wasn't much better there. I mean, food still crumbled. I would flick and stuff started coming alive after I flicked my nails. And my daughter thought I was crazy, of course. I don't know what they thought, but from what I'm gathering, that's pretty much what she took from it. And I think most people, So anyway, I went on the porch after I went and saw the healing lady. I hadn't opened A Course in Miracles in a long time. That's kind of my real, it's my fallback. I've studied a lot, but now I'm back into it again, especially the manual for teachers. But I sat down and I did the lesson. I believe it's 169. My holiness is my salvation, and I started flying. I mean, demons started coming out of me, and it lasted for about 2 hours. They asked me to leave. That's how, and so I suffered public humiliation and basic execution for at least an entire month, because from then on, my body was completely used for light and shadow work. That's it. I mean, I got some brief times where I was alone and they weren't there on either side, the light or the dark, and I was freaked the fuck out because I had no choice. I had no control. I had no control of my body. I had no control of what I was saying. I mean, and nobody believed me, which at first was, but then I started, as things started shifting, I started seeing that, oh, this is just a scene I'm playing in, and they told me I was making a movie, and I mean, I leveled up, and I actually did find God, and I even went further into other dimensions, which is way cool, some of which are still way out there that I'm nowhere near, but I did work for them. I mean, I was literally the sacrificial lamb. There were missions to make. People had to pay some debts through me. I had to do some rituals for things. I mean, my body was tired. My brain wasn't very tired, except for whenever I'd come back into perception of Jasmyne, the human. It was like, what the fuck is going on? But after a while, I just decided, well, I mean, you gotta believe you don't have any choice. I couldn't go in public. I mean, every time I did, something dramatic happened. And I did go in public a lot on purpose. I mean, I got into buildings. I brought stuff back to life. I was dead for a long time. Like, no heartbeat. And I've been telling people this for a while and nobody believes me. And so I'm used to that. I'm like, you know what? All these things happened to you. They all called. So what happened was, as I found God, I had to slay some demons. I had to do some shadow work for some shit I had part in, and then for shit of other people. I was the alchemizer. I was the one who did the work for both parties, but I got to experience both too. That means I had to go that dark. So I had to wake up on my couch in 24 and say, I just can't do it. You just can't make me get up and feed myself. I don't care. This life is, you promised me light and beauty and connection and love and fun and magic, and this is what you give me, But see, what had happened is I came back down into time. Whenever I was in those higher dimensions, I didn't give a fuck. They'd say, you're going to be the crazy lady for a while. I'm like, all right, great. This is fun. Because, I mean, I was off doing other stuff. I mean, I was in and out of things. Time would stop. People would stand still around me. I got to move in and out of things. I got to experience being a cat. and those abilities and being a horse, those were the only two animals that I connected with the experience of how it feels like to have their instincts, you know. And so many things. And it's just starting to come back to me, because what happened is I finally got to the culmination of where I kept reaching out to my mom to help me, because I had been back down into reality and it just looked like chaos around me. And at that point, nobody's making a movie about me. Nobody knows what's going on with me, but I do look crazy. And so my mom picks me up, and at that moment I heard Alexa sing "Happy Birthday," and Alexa was a part of it. Radios were part of it. I mean, it's big, you guys. And so whenever I knew my mom was at the door, and so we went. She picked me up, and I mean, they were telling me it was my birthday. Like, I was like, "Woohoo! It's my birthday!" And it was my uncle singing to me and my whole family. And then my mom picked me up, and we went to the hospital. And I was still in character. I was still just playing. And they were like, you know, "You're the cleaning lady," because I've got a story that I see why I had to do the things I had to do. But yes, it is my job to help clean the world up, because I helped make it a mess. That's what my soul did for its part in the destruction that we see as. So we'll have fun reversing the curse. Anyway, so then I'm going to Roswell in an ambulance, and I'm thinking, right on, this is part of the movie. And I mean, people interacted with me so that it worked. I believed I knew what they were gonna say. I watched for the signs I was told to watch for. I got in and out where I needed to go. I got left in. I drove out to TRC, almost out to the spaceport, ran almost out of gas, and had no phone, because they had me leave my phone at the airport in Alamogordo in a cup. And then they had, and they said they'd take care of me, and somebody came by with a gas can. Sure enough, I mean, it all worked out. My credit cards wouldn't work. I was in and out of time. You know, I saw stuff in the future. All of this stuff has happened, right? All within a month. I mean, I've had spiritual experiences, but nothing like this, because it was in daylight. Stop it. So whenever I went to the psych ward, and they took me to the psych ward from the ambulance, stop it! Not so mean. Not so mean. Not so mean. Thank you. I'm talking. We went to the psych ward, and I thought that we were still in a movie. And I was like, this is fun, because, you know, I was like, cool, I'm in a hospital, get food, you know, I was having fun. But once it settled in that I was staying, and once it settled in that all of those things that I was promised and that I saw and that I did, that nobody believed me, and that they all thought I was crazy, and now God was gone, because the guides, the voices, all of them went quiet. And I left. I left. Whenever I had to stay longer in time than I wanted to, I guess. I don't know why I left, but I left. I stopped, because I was happy going into it, but later that day, and it turned into resentment. Fuck, man, it did. Man. All you motherfuckers, nobody fucking believed me. It's all right. It's unbelievable. I get it. But, anyway. So, I was mad at God. I hated God at the moment. I was like, fuck you. What is the point? But, I reconnected with my brothers. There was a guy in there in the mental, and we had fun. And the kooky stuff still happened to me some, especially in Cottonwood. That was fun. Some real fun stuff. He's got a scrunchie, and I don't want him to have it, and I can't even get up. I'm so fucking tired these days. And my mom hates that I cuss so much, so sorry, Mama. I'll try to be better. But fuck is a good word. I don't think it's a bad word. So yeah, and then after that, my ex-husband picked me up, took me to the took me to Cottonwood in Arizona, made me go. They both made me go. And I get why. I totally get why. I did. I was crazy. I even said, like, I don't know what to do when they were gone. I was lost. I had no idea where I was. And so he drove me there, and I had to pay for it, $25,000. It was fun though. It was good. I tell you, I'd rather sit in I'd rather hang out with people in a psych ward, in a recovery center, than any doctrinated, specific church or anybody that's filled with a bunch of people full of shit. And we all know what I'm talking about. The rooms where the rooms of deception, because words created deception. Before them, we had to explain things in a different way. We had to communicate in a more natural way. Once we made the word, that's when witchcraft was born. Because we can say something and do something different. So, deception. So yeah, where, it's just a bunch of shit and everybody smiles at you and tells you how much that, oh yeah, everything's fine and, or whatever. And then they just go and talk shit about you behind your back. Yeah, done with that. And have been for a while. But these experiences, it led me through stuff I needed to do. I have been a sick human being. I mean, addiction, my God, I can't believe I even survived my alcoholism. I think as most of us feel that are alcoholics who have survived. But yeah, I mean, it was bad. And that was my first miracle. That's whenever I knew that God existed, because I wanted to quit drinking so bad. It ruled my life every waking moment, whether I was drinking or not. Because if I was not drinking, I was thinking about what I was going to drink next, or I was trying to feel better until I could drink then. And it clouded every day. My 21st birthday was awful. I was so hungover the first day, even when we got there, that I was just trying to maintain. I mean, but it had really taken over my life, and I was going to die. And I didn't want to die at that point. I wanted to live. I had just gotten married, and I had a daughter, and she was, bright little thing, and we wanted to have another baby, and I knew I couldn't have a baby drunk. And so, but I also was raised in a religion that said, if you don't follow these rules, then you're done. You're toast. No one's gonna be there for you. Sorry. You got to follow all the rules. Obey. Love that word. Obey. Allow God to show you how to do it and how to be. No more obey. He obeys us. We say, I want this. He says, okay. So, anyway, I was going to go. So I called my mom and said I was ready for help after my husband and I were talking divorce papers. And I was really happy to be married to him, and did not want to lose my new life. And so no rehab could take me in. So my mom said, well, let's just go to AA in the morning. And I said, okay. And of course I was drunk when I said that. And it's always so much easier to get sober when you're drunk. I don't know why. Sounds so much more fun, and doable. So the next day came, and I was for sure already planning on drinking. I was going to get a shooter on my way, at least on my way home after the meeting. And something shifted in that moment, in that meeting. And I felt the desire to drink completely leave me. And it was replaced with repulsion. Literally to this day, if I think of alcohol too much, or if someone describes drinks too much, I'll get nauseous, I mean, so I knew then that, okay, maybe if God loves me enough to give me that gift, then maybe he isn't what they told me. So that was my start with journey. Okay, I'm doing more of this. This was enough for today.